Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy Ravenclaw here with a new series called Tutorial Time. And this series we're going to go over everything I can teach you from, game guides all the way through to like graphics design, 3D modeling, programming, whatever. Okay, so today I'm going to be going over something that a lot of you have been asking for. So what better time? There's my phone and I keep putting it on loud every time I go to make a video. So, what it is, we're going to do macros today. Macros, and it sort of leads on to pet control from those macros. Now, if you already know how to make macros and stuff, and you just want some tips and tricks, that's fine. But if you're brand new to sort of making macros and what they're all about, sit back and just, come with me as we go through a bunch of different little bits and pieces. Now, in order to make a macro, you need to go to the macro editor, which is here. You can either go through the little interface here, or you can simply type in chat /m and then bam. Okay. Now, what is a macro? A macro is something that can perform multiple actions with one click. And that is anything from saying a bunch of things. You can go yell hello. Right? And we can go save. We'll put this right there, will do. And you can see that it said hi and then yelled hi, hello afterwards. So you can do multiple things. Doesn't have to be sort of like emotions and stuff, but you get the idea. Now, we will go through your simple ones, like we just did with your speaking, or we can go through advanced ones as well, but we'll leave that till later on. Now, one thing I get asked a lot is, how do we get our pets to attack with our, different spells? Or if we switch targets, what's the best way to get the pets to attack? Now, let's go ahead and we'll make ourselves a macro for that. So first things first, if you go #show tooltip, right? This will show the tooltip for the first spell that you have in your we'll call it order. So list from top to bottom. All right. So for example, over here, this is our add-on. This is our macro that we've just made. There's nothing there. Okay. So what you want to do to get your pet to attack, you need to type a quick command in, which is /pet attack. All one word. Okay. Don't separate it, otherwise it will not work. Then from there, we need to go start adding spells. Now, how do you put a spell in a macro? You can do it two ways. You can simply go /cast and then type in the exact phrasing of the word. So for example, Cobra Shot, you have to put capitalized everything. Or you can do the easy way, which is holding shift, left click, and it will do it for you. And this will allow you to quickly add different things into your macros. Okay. Let's just go back. Alright, now, just one thing. If I do miss anything in here, you can hit me up in the comments. Tell me what macro you want, and I'll write it up for you and place it in the comment that I reply back. Okay, so this, now you see here, it's added the icon for Cobra Shot. This is just a command, not a spell. So like I said, the first spell that comes up. Now, if we've saved that and we go over here, it'll now show you the tooltip that it's on. Okay. Now, a lot of people have a bit of trouble sort of getting in and out of fights and things like that. And that's because they're, trying to control their pet. Like I have here, these the attack and follow are keybound. Yeah. But having this in your attack, different attacks, like some people have it in all their attacks. I just sort of have it for kill command and Cobra Shot. Okay, so that's one way to control your pet. Now, having gone over how to add a spell to a thing, if you wanted to say make a burst macro or whatever you want to do, you'll simply just go ahead. Let's get rid of this. And let's say we wanted to Aspect of the Wild with Bestial Wrath to go off at the one time. Okay. One thing you have to remember is some spells share a global cooldown, so they can't go off simultaneously. But Aspect of the Wild and Bestial Wrath do not. So if we go shift left click, save, right, now it'll come up here. And if we, I've already saved it over here. Right, now if I hit it, let's just get rid of this, hit this one over here, you can see that both of them went off at the same time. So that's another way to use multiple actions at once for those that want to, you know, do a specific macro or for bursting or whatever. Now you could also add something a little funky there. You can go yell, boom. Right, so after they use it, you can yell out boom. Yeah, I know it's stupid, but who cares? It's fun. Okay, moving on. Some people have asked, how do I use my flasks? Like back in the day, I used to use flasks for like battlegrounds, like agility boosters and things like that. They say, how do you use that without having to click it? That's simple. You'll type / use, then the name of the item. Once again, you can simply go, where's a potion or something? I don't think I have one. Yeah, so you can use healing tonic, then type in your bits and pieces and all that. Having said that, we also used to have, I don't think trinkets work in PvP anymore, but PvE, let's say you want to use an on-use trinket, that's the same. Now you'll go / use, right, and you'll go vindictive, whatever, it doesn't matter what it is, but whoops. Okay, now if you okay, there's a good thing there. Now if you simply just have nothing there and you go shift left click, you'll see it says equip. Now that's for quickly equipping different things. Back in the day, we used to set up a whole macro to equip a different set, but you can do that from the equipment manager. But keep that in mind, alright? But if you want to use a certain trinket, once again, you'll go use, then the name, you shift click it, there you go. But the problem is, if you have a specific name in there, what will happen is if you go, say, into a raid and you're ready to go, you've got a special set that you use for raiding, you'll have to go into this macro every single time and change the name. But to make it more dynamic, if you get rid of this and go use 13, this bit of code here says use the 13th slot here. So it goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, right? So the trinket here is 13 and that's 14. And that will use whatever's in slot 13. So no matter whenever you change it out, that's what it will use. Bit more dynamic, and that way you don't have to worry about it too much. Alright, and then you can go ahead and add your spells and all that other good stuff. Now, I used to use that for adding my trinkets to my burst macro back in Pandaria and Warlords and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem to be that important now in PvP. Another thing that I have been asked is, how do you stop, this was probably more for people that use barrage and stuff, but how do you stop and kick someone when you're in the middle of a cast? Alright, and that's easy. What you need to do is you need to type / stop casting. Then you can go ahead and let's open up the thing and we can go into our counter shot. Let's put that back over here. Shut everything down. Now, let's say, let's just mount up and then you click it, you can see what happened. It'll stop anything you're casting, so you can get it. And that's great if you're in the middle of, if you use barrage or whatever and you have to kick, that's even for PvP and PvE. If you're in the middle of a cast and someone is about to use a particular spell you need to kick, use that and bam, you can stop casting and interrupt the spell. That's a pretty straightforward one there, and that's very, very useful. Okay, now let's get on to targeting. Targeting, whether it's a focus target or just anyone in particular. Let's before we go ahead, let's just do the focus one. All right. Now, I like to bind the focus. When I say bind, in my wherever it is here. So what I like to do, I haven't done it for this one yet, I've done it on another one, but let's just go / focus. Now, say you're in an arena, okay, and you want to focus a particular target, or if you're a healer, you want to, in a raid, you want to focus like a tank or something like that, without having to continuously click and, you know, set focus and blah, blah, blah. This is how you'll set your focus based on what you're doing. And now, in an arena, let's say you want to keep the healer in your focus so you can see when it's casting or where it is, or maybe it's a mage, you want to kick the poly, whatever it may be. You can, once again, you can type the specific name in, but it's not dynamic enough because you'll have to do that for every match and it's just a pain. So what you can do is you can type in arena 1, 2, 3, whatever. And how this works is when you start a match, they'll be listed in a row. So 1, 2, and 3. Arena 1, obviously the top, arena 2, and so on and so forth. That will allow you then, now you probably think to yourself, why would I bother putting it in there? Why wouldn't I just make a macro of its own? That's a good question. Let's say you are trying to focus a druid. All right, your focus is set. That's cool. But as soon as it goes into stealth, it's unset. The reason why I have it here is because I'm always using Cobra Shot. It'll always focus that target. Always. No matter if they go into stealth, come back out. If it's a rogue or anything like that, back in, and it'll always have it set there. Just a nifty little trick that I like to keep going. He says that as he didn't have it there. Alright, now, what about the opposite? What happens if you want to say, this comes back to some pet control as well. The good one would be, actually let's just get rid of this. Let's dismiss these pets. If you have a spirit beast and you want to use the spirit heal, I don't know what's going on, but I did a raid before and this bugged out. So I have to go in here and I think it's this one. Sorry about that, guys. What a pain in the butt that was. Alright, now this one here. We've done the focus. Focusing is pretty easy. You know, pretty straightforward, right? Okay, so let's just get out of this and let's go to the heal macro now. I call this heal because you can use... This works for both the Spirit Mend and the... if your pet is in Cunning... where are we? Pet in Cunning. Let's just activate that now. Use it for Roar of Sacrifice. Now, I use this macro... as you can see, we've got 3 here. That's for Party 1, Party 2, and Party 3. I'll go over that in a sec. Let's just focus on the heal. This is about pet management. Now, alright, what have we got here? It looks a bit crazy, but bear with me. Alright, so, show tooltip, we've already gone over that. And now we've got the spell here, but that is purely to show the icon, okay? And the particular tooltip for that. Now, under here, we've got cast, fair enough. Spirit Mend, that's cool. But in these brackets, like these square brackets, these are what's known as sort of conditions, alright? Now, the conditions say, target Party 1, right? In this case, it's myself, because there's no one else here. And you'll see a comma, and you'll see help. Now, help and harm, they're 2 different modifiers, well, not so much modifiers, conditions. It's saying target the Party 1, and if it's a helpful spell, use it. If it's, you know, a harmful spell, don't use it. Okay? So in this case, what we're doing, now you can do this, you can change Party 1, right, to player. Actually, where is the one that I had? That's not the one that I was using. That one. Here, sorry. Party 1 wasn't me. I had 2 of them, obviously. Party 1 is for the next one other than you. So how it works with the party, it goes you first, then whoever's at the top of the list and that. Now, be very careful with this, and I'll tell you why in a sec. So let's just finish this off. Target player, right, which is you, and help. Spirit Mend, exotic ability. I have to put it like this because if you put Spirit Mend, it doesn't seem to work. Alright, and then you can use a health stone and whatever you want to do. So now, if I don't target myself, right, let's just even target Thought or Hattie or whatever. And then we press it, our pet will use it on us. Okay, that's a little, these are little utility sort of based macros, but they are very effective. Okay, moving on to the Roar of Sacrifice one. Now, this is what I was getting to before. Now, cast target. Now we're getting into targeting, sort of lead on into this, but we'll get into a bit more in a sec. Target equals party 1. Once again, party 1 is the first in the list, then party 2 is the next one, and so on and so forth. You being the first. Okay. Now, I've had issues with using party 1 and party 2 because when we start like a threes match, it's been known to switch people around. So, you know, like we have the healer, myself, the healer, and someone else. And I thought the healer might be at party 1. But the way it's done it is flipped them around, and it's crazy. So what I have to do is you had to go into, I think it was raid here. I'm not sure. But if I find it, I'll make sure I put it in the post editing. But you had to go in, you had to look at the raid that you're in, like the little party, and then you had to switch them around and stuff like that. So you could also, if you're running with a group, this is great for dynamically using it. But if you're running with a group that you always run with, you can simply type their exact name in here and save a bit of confusion. But that's just a simple way to use your royal sacrifices without having to, you know, click it and click someone else and that and whatever. Now, targeting. Let's just go back to the one we've been mucking around with, which is there. Okay. Now, targeting. It's simple. You can just type in target or TAR, whatever you want to do, but target for now. And you can simply type in, so we've got Hattie here. Let's just select this guy. We can go type in the exact name, Hattie, save, right? And then we go like this, and it will target Hattie. Now, let's say if you wanted to, I don't know, you wanted to target Hattie's target. You know, you can do things like target like this, target. And what that'll do is just bounce around until you get to the final destination. So you'll target your target's target. If you understand, it's a lot of targeting, but you get the idea, right? So, for example, this will be useful for a healer. Okay, let's say for a healer, they're healing you, right? But they want to know, say you're, I don't know, you want to CC the particular target that they're on or something like, I don't know. There's a scenario here. So they can use that, and instead of having to click around and stuff like that, if they want to do a bit of damage too, they want, instead of having to look like a priest, you know, they want to get some damage out, they can use this macro and it will target their target, which will be you, onto whoever you're targeting. It's a quick way to keep damage going in between, and you get the idea what I'm saying. But it's a very simple and easy way to do it. Now, I was going to go over target enemy, target nearest enemy, blah, 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 which is easy. You can just simply go target enemy player or something like that, target player 1, player 2, whatever. You can go like friend player. But what I do, and this is something other people have asked as well, how do I switch between targets without clicking or anything like that? So I went down to targeting, and I don't use tab, okay, because you can, what's known as tab targeting. I use, where are we? Where's the target? See, in here, right, you got targeting, you got all different things, right? Target nearest enemy player, target nearest enemy, things like that. Now, doing that, it will allow you to quickly switch between targets without having to, you know, get off and click or anything like that. Now, let's just bring this back up. And it's very handy to sort of quickly get between two different people at once. But yeah, now, I've gone over the pet attack, which is one of the main things, the pet functions as well. If they have a certain ability, you already know how to do that. What else did I want to show you? Modifiers. There we go. That's what I wanted to talk about. Modifiers. Now, we can probably use the heal one as an example here, right? Now, we've got here, target any player. So, if we were to type modifier, colon, CTRL, right? Now we've given another condition. This is saying if the control button is held down, you can use Spirit Mend, right? So if we go save, I'm clicking it now. Nothing's happening, right? I held shift, I held control. It's working. What is this good for? You're probably thinking to yourself, why would you want to do that? This is great for bits and pieces, like if you have certain spells that you want to do. Maybe it's a healer that wants to do a certain heal, but if they hit shift, it's a dispel. You know what I mean? Or if you hit control, you can have all different things. You can have, cast, modifier shift, something, cast, modifier control, modifier alt. It's usually shift, control, and alt are your modifiers. And that's great for holding a bunch of bits and pieces together. If you want to sort of, without having to do 1,000 buttons, you can have it all in the one just by pressing different modifiers. Alternatively, what you can do, let's say if I hold, once again, we'll just type it in, keep it a bit fresh, modifier, colon, we'll go again, control, comma, right? So these are all conditions between the things. So if they all return true, right, true and false, we'll get into that when we get into programming, but it has to be true to be able to continue on the code. Now, let's just go like this and do a semicolon, and we'll put in the pet roar of sacrifice, right? Now, not doing anything. Hold control. It, oh, whoops. Okay, so what happened there was, it actually, because I had Hattie targeted, it actually went and put the thing on the target. I was supposed to have myself selected. So let me explain that. We've got the modifier, and down here, we've said, if I'm holding control, and the target is the player, and we're, if I'm holding control, then target will be me, and it's a help ability, use Spirit Mend. Otherwise, just simply cast Roar of Sacrifice. Okay? So I'm not going to... Oh, it's 15 seconds. Doesn't really matter. But you get the idea of where I'm coming from, right? So you hold control. You'll get healed. It's a bit hard because you're not really seeing my hands and stuff like that. But now look, I'm not going to hold control. And you watch here, and you watch up there the buff, right? Got myself selected. Go and press it. And it will give me Roar of Sacrifice. I'm just doing this as sort of little bits and pieces. And then once that comes true, remember, it'll go down to the next line of code and go on. Yeah, you get the idea. I'm just showing you little bits and pieces that come to my mind as I go along. Remember, if I have missed something, you let me know because I will explain it later on. Okay, another one that people have asked for is, how do I do multiple actions one after another? Because, alright, we can't do them all at once because they've got a global cooldown. Sorry, I'm drinking coffee. I haven't had my coffee yet, and I needed a coffee before I started explaining all this. How do I do one after another? That, my friends, is what we call a cast sequence. So, like all the others, you simply type cast sequence. Yeah, I hope that's right. Yep. Now, we can then go in and go, what do we want to cast? Maybe we want to start off with Cobra Shot. Everything has to be separated with a comma and a space. Alright? Then I think I might go... Well, actually, let's do things because we've got no targets here. Let's try Aspect of the Wild. And then we'll go Bestial Wrath. Then we'll go Aspect of the Turtle. Okay. I'm just showing you this just for an idea, right? So, back down over to our thing here. So if I press it once, see how it's changed the thing and the tooltip? Bestial Wrath. And then, Aspect of the Turtle. But did you see how it changed the icon based upon what spell was next? And now that was because we have Show Tooltip here. And just I want to touch on something. When you create a new macro, if you put an icon here, you won't see the name of the macro or the icon. But if you just leave it as a question mark, it will use the default icon for the spell that it's at. Alright? That's your cast sequence. That would be good for like healers or druids, things like that want to do a particular routine of spells without having to use, like, you know, flood your bars with all these different spells. Now, I know some people will ask me, how do I do a one-shot rotation, and like, can you do it? Don't. Especially in PvP. PvE, I'm not really sure, but in PvP, if you're relying on one macro to just continuously go through, you know, just a plethora of spells, then you're not going to get really far, because it's all about what situation you're in at what time and when things proc. I'm just showing you as another macro that you might be able to use at some point. Okay. Now, let's say, all right, we're going to use Aspect of the Wild, but if we don't, you know, say to the macro, hey, once you've used Aspect of the Wild, if I don't use Bestial Wrath, I want you to go back to the start, okay? Because if we don't, like this, it'll just sit on the Bestial Wrath until we use it. So what do we do there? We need to go and put in a reset function, command, whatever, right? And what this will do is, let's say, 10 milliseconds, right? So let's go, all right, I think that's 10 milliseconds, not 10 seconds. Well, we'll be able to find out now, right? So what this will do, it says cast sequence, the reset time between spells is 10. Right, let's save. Right, we'll use that and we'll just let it sit there, which is funny because it's 10 seconds here. So I'm thinking it may be 10 seconds. But anyway, we'll soon see in a second. Literally. And there you go. It's gone back to the start. It didn't stay on Bestial Wrath and go to Aspect. It went back to the start. That's a good way to, if you've got a specific line of spells you want to go with, that's a good way to set it back to the beginning without having to worry about, you know, hitting other spells and whatnot. I'm just, like I said, I'm going through different things that might be important to some people. Another one being, for druids and stuff, or, you know, maybe you want to, as far as this reset, you can do it by stance, like, you know, warriors go into defensive stance, rogues go into, like, I think it's like your stealth in that. I think that's classed as a stance. You can reset it by that. You can reset it whether you're in combat or no combat. There's heaps of stuff. And don't worry, guys, I will link you guys to a website that has all the different modifiers and tags, or whatever you want to call them, so that you can incorporate it into what I've shown you today. Now, this one is also very handy. Okay, cancel aura, and what we'll need for this one is Aspect of the Turtle. Alright, now, what is cancel aura? Cancel aura basically says, let's say someone's put, you know, Hand of Protection on you, or you've just popped Turtle, but you're about to get a kill and you can't without having to go and get rid of it, or, you know, anything of the sort. It used to be, for us hunters, it used to be deterrence, and I wanted to get into a deterrence, but I had to get out quick to kick it without having to go up here and get rid of the icon. Sorry if you can hear those sirens. There's like a bajillion people flying past my house while we're waiting. Here's a little tricky one, because I know people actually like to use these action bars down here, so 1 and 2. If you want to do that, if you want to swap between action bars for some sort of reason, you can do things like swap action bar, and it can be 1 and 2, whatever. You can toggle it. So, where are we? Did I say that? Hold on. Swap. Oh, my. Okay. You guys can let me have it in the comments about how bad I am at spelling. But you can see here, you can toggle between the two there. Very, very trivial thing, but I guess if you really wanted to know about that, now you know. We're still got to wait for this to come back online. While we're waiting, cancel form. Cancel form is a big one for you druids. Cancel form, say you're in bear form and you want to go back into tree form, or whatever, you can simply go, you know, type in cancel form, and you can put in whatever, cancel form, and then use rejuvenation or whatever. But putting this condition in will get you out of whatever form you may be in. It'd be, you know, bear, whatever. And if there's some other things I'm not sure about, I'm pretty sure the only form really is for druids, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay, now we've still got a minute there. Alright, let's actually what we can do, we've learned about how to set a focus. What can we do to be able to kick our focus target without actually without actually selecting them, okay? So for example, let's just go, let's use the heal because obviously no targets. Let's just use this, right? Let's get rid of control and let's type in at, no, let's just do a new one because that's going to get all messy. We'll use this one, I'm not using it at the moment, alright? So in here, right, we've got to put a condition and that condition will be at focus. So literally it's at focus spirit mend. Alright, so we can save this and we'll put this there, doesn't really matter. And at the moment, I have no valid targets because I have no focus, right? But let's go ahead and set Hattie to our focus. There you go. Now, that was just so I could show you it working. But if, say, you can simply put there, you know, counter shot, whatever it may be. So you can see I've actually got it here. I think that's it. Yeah. So you can actually go target focus or you can go at focus. It's just the shorthand part of it. Now, let's quickly go back while we've got our, you know, turtle back up. Okay, so cancel aura, right? / cancel aura. Now, I was under the impression now this definitely should work, right? Because you have to, I'm pretty sure, I could have sworn that you didn't have to actually put in the name of the ability. But let's just double check that, shall we? Cancel aura. There you go. Alright. So as you can see, I had turtle shell on, then I got rid of it, and yeah. So, my bad for saying you didn't have to use it. I could have sworn that, I don't know, maybe I did a different way. But yeah, aspect of the turtle, whatever it may be, you can, I'm pretty sure you can even just go comma, whatever it may be, and just link them all up. Possibly. I don't know. You guys can correct me if I was wrong. Alright, so let me just put that back to pet attack. That was it, yeah? Yeah, no, that was it. Alright, so what have we got left to really go over? I've done that. I suppose we could talk about, there are other things, like you can actually do scripts in here to run bits and pieces, but I don't really worry about scripts. I guess what we could probably finish up on is, we've talked about, you know, saying stuff and all that. There's not much else that we really need to do. I will make sure I do other bits and pieces in the post editing. You could go, actually, what we could probably do to end off on this would be your Mouseover. Okay, this is actually quite handy, right? So if we go target, what is it, target do we want? No, cast. We'll actually, yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll go to the heal, right? And we'll put it in here. And this is handy for, you know, without having to select it. As long as your mouse is over something, you'll actually perform that task. So if we go something like at mouse over, right? At mouse over, and in this case, it's a helpful spell. So we'll go help, right? Exotic ability, yep, and that's here. Yeah. Okay, let's put this in a keybound spot because it's not going to work if I don't. We'll just swap this out for now, right? So, nothing's working, right? But, did you see how as soon as I went over a target, it would work? That's good for healers that don't have to switch between, you know, different people. You can simply just highlight them, and us hunters too. If you really don't want to use the focus kick, you can highlight a target and kick. You know, just simple things. That's pretty much all I really wanted to go over, and that's how basically I do things to like manage my pets and stuff like that. Like I said, if there's something that that I may have missed or anything like that, you let me know down in the comments. I'll be more than happy to write up a macro for you and put it in there for everyone to use. Or if you know of something else that I should have gone over, write it down below and help us all out as we go on here, because doing this on the fly, I haven't actually written anything up. I just did this on the fly, so yeah, as you can tell, it's still all a bit crazy. Alright, you awesome people. I hope that this was... I hope this answered a bunch of your questions. Like I always say, if you need anything else, don't hesitate to let me know. I do try and answer everybody's comments as much as I can. Now that we're actually getting a lot more people in here, I'm getting quite a fair few more comments, and it's taken me a little bit longer to reply, but don't hesitate. Don't worry, I will do my best to get onto you guys. I don't like leaving you hanging. And yeah, but other than that, my friends, I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy this guide and you're looking forward to the series tutorial time, hit that like button. Let me know. If you are new to the channel, if you found this anywhere out in the world, I'm talking to you right now. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, guys, because I want you on our team to take on Legion and just be part of the crew. And until next time, all you awesome people, no matter where you are, you keep on sniping, and I will definitely see you all in the next video. Take care now, guys.